this shirt. It's a Champion 100% cotton black shirt. We did our reverse technique we do with the bleach in here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look in our playlist. You'll see reverse tie-dye, and we'll show you exactly how we did it. We washed it out, completely dried it. There's no soda ash right now. What I'm actually going to do is start re-spinning it. And I'm going to tie it up. Then I'm going to take it over to our hot water irrigation area, and we're going to throw some color into it. Reversed tie-dye with hot water irrigation. A little bit of both. So we're over here at our hot water irrigation setup. We got a crock pot here with our water in it. It's about 145, 150 degrees or so. Here's the shirt, a reverse shirt we spun up. Got a quarter cup of soda ash. We got a spray bottle with just plain water in it. And the colors we're going to use today are yellow, blue, red, and a raspberry, which is a purple. And I'll get it all set up and we'll start doing the hot water irrigation. We're all set up. We're ready to put our liquid dye on our shirt. What we like to do first is, since the shirt is dry, we're actually going to spray it with some regular water. Some people spray it with water with soda ash in it. We like this to spray it first to get a little bit moist, because what happens is when you go to put the dye on, especially the liquid dye, when you put it on, it'll just repel off and go down. It'll take a while before it absorbs into your shirt. And as you can see here, we tied it up. We used 2 red rubber bands to sort of cut it off into our pie slices. We're going to start with our yellow. I'm just going to put it on here. You can see a little bit of it repelling off. See that? Just take your time. Let it soak through. That's our yellow. Now we got a blue, turquoise. Let's use that down here. Look, blue. Want to get it in there pretty good. Now wherever the blue's is going to touch the yellow, you're going to get a little bit of green. So there's be some green over here when we're done. Put that on. There's our blue. We have a red. The red, we're going to go up here by the yellow, which will get an orange color. You don't need too much. Once we start applying the hot water, it'll push the dye through the shirt. And this right here, take a raspberry purplish color. Raspberry. So I like to use this when we got extra dye left over. Hey, what are we going to do? We got some reverse shirts that we can add some color to. That's what we do. We could also do this with ice too. Just like to put a little extra yellow in, because the yellow seems to fade away pretty fast. There's our dye. And then, as I showed you before, we got a 1/3 cup of soda ash. We're just going to sprinkle it on. Definitely need to use the soda ash to get the cotton to open up to bind with the dye. Go here, put it on. This is a large shirt. There's our soda ash. And what we're going to do now is we come over here to our crock pot. We got a turkey baster. We're going to fill that up. Once we put on our eye protection, we got eye protection. We're going to put on our goggles. Because most people don't realize when you're working with the dye in the soda ash like this, you're going to get the hot vapors coming up from the water, the hot water. So you want to protect your eyes. So here we go. We usually just start off in the middle and go slow. Let the soda ash seep down into your shirt. First, you got to go slow. But once you get the shirt saturated, then you can go a little faster. I mean, we can finish this off within a half an hour. And the key to the saturation is we use a lot of hot water. We'll probably use on this at least a gallon and a half. You can hear the water whistling through the turkey baster. Never heard that before. We'll just keep on applying our water till the soda ash thoroughly goes through the shirt. Usually we don't really have to do the other side and flip it. If it was a white shirt, we would definitely want to check it out. We got a tool here where we go in and we'll check inside and see, make sure it penetrated all the way through. We'll lift this tray up here. We can see underneath of it to see if it went through. But the key to the saturation is plenty of water. If you think it's enough, do a little bit more. On an average shirt, we might use 3 gallons of water on a white shirt. So I'll just continue doing this till it's done. And then I'll show you the final product once it's all been washed out and ready for sale. So on this second one, I'm going to do just a little bit different. The dry shirt, we did a scrunch technique. We squirted it up with some water so the dye doesn't repel off. This time though, we're going to take our 1/3 cup of soda ash. We're going to sprinkle it on first. When you do this, you can actually see the color better as you're putting down the dye. You always make sure you use your soda ash for the bonding process. Also raises up the pH level. Just sprinkle this on here. Got over here in our crock pot, our water's going at 140, 45 degrees. And today we're going to use leftover yellow. Just going to squirt it on there, let it soak through. This here is a bright yellow from Dharma. Then we got a fuchsia red. I think we'll go over here with that. See that? Wherever the red and the yellow is going to meet, you're going to get more orange. Just fill it in nice and liberally. I think we'll go over here on the side of yellow. Wherever the blue hits the yellow, you're going to get some green. Go in. This is actually turquoise blue. So wherever the blue touches the yellow, you're going to get some green. I'm just going to let it sit in there and saturate for a few minutes. The last one we're going to use is this raspberry purple. Put it in there. Soak through. You can see, still have the soda ash there. I'm going to get ready to apply the hot water using our turkey baster. Just add a little bit more reddish in here. And as usual, I always like to put a little extra yellow because the yellow seems to dissipate pretty fast, disappears into the other colors. At this point here, we got a crock pot over here. We're going to put on our safety glasses because a lot of people don't understand the hot water vapors that are coming up from your shirt. Once it hits that soda ash, got soda ash vapors coming up. Just going to start putting the water on. You can do one color at a time. You can do them all at a time. That's when you start. You want to take it easy, go slow till the shirt starts absorbing the hot water. And on this shirt here is a 2X. Actually has a design on it. You'll see when it's done. And we'll use close to 2 gallons of water. Take us maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. Make sure it gets nice and saturated. We'll let it sit for another hour or so just to cool down before we start taking off the rubber bands and put it in our wash. Wash it out. So it's reverse tie-dye meets liquid dye, which meets hot water irrigation dye. Hot technique. I'll finish wrapping this up here. You'll see the results at the end of the video. So here's our champion reverse shirt we did. Did this with liquid dye, hot water irrigation technique. We always like to keep a lot of the original black in the shirt. So then obviously it's reverse tie-dye. So here's the shirt we did with the scrunchie, and it actually had a peace sign on there. And what we did was we made our design, we bleached it out, reverse tie-dye, we came back with our liquid dye, and then we hit it with our hot water irrigation technique, which is using hot water and your dye and soda ash. As you can see, it looks pretty good. The 2X all washed out, dried, pre-shrunk, and ready for sale.